Welcome back to another episode of Key and Carry, where we key
and we carry.
And on this episode, we will be reviewing G Status ATL Hustle Season 2, Episode 6, Part 2, Have My Cake and Eat It Too. How are we feeling about this episode?
I mean, I know somebody got cake smashed into their face, but I was just trying to figure out who's trying to have that cake and who's trying to eat it too.
I think it was the king, because we saw this episode. This episode we saw a couple of people being kind of sweet on Mr. Roman Xavier.
Roman the stallion type of shit. Like, I want to back that thing up, bitch. Can I see that? Wow.
But we'll get into it.
This episode was really good. I actually really liked this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was well-rounded. I really like the episodes where they have drama, but they also have some moments of substance, I guess,
Right.
and things that we can actually talk about that are positive or that are, not just people arguing and fighting. So, I thought it was a good, solid episode. I think last episode was pretty good too. So I think they're starting to build better momentum.
Yeah, two back-to-back pretty solid episodes that were enjoyable, fun. I enjoyed it. I like the party that they threw for our guy. Everybody just seemed to have a really good time this episode.
So let's get into it. Let's be positive for once. Let's key and not carry for once.
Okay. My first moment, the first moment that stood out to me was finding out that Mr. Zion, Mr. Miami, aka Jabari, is our guy's gay father. I was like, that was a plot twist I did not see coming. Because
that was a record scratch moment.
It was.
I think I was actually doing something when I was watching the show, and once I heard that, I literally stopped what I was doing. I was like, "Wait, what? Hold up! Something adding up."
Right? It's like I could kind of see him as a big brother figure, but he was like father. I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe he sees the side of, I guess, Jabari that the cameras haven't showed yet. But this episode, he was pretty, I want to say, the beginning of our guy's party. He was kind of, trying to be the voice of reason. I don't know.
Was he trying to be the voice of reason though?
That's why I came to the party, because I was gonna whoop her ass. I'm sorry.
Was he?
Thinking back, no, he wasn't, because he was being pretty offensive. There's that weird ass double standard again. They feel some type of way about Delicious saying nigga, but here y'all are literally being, like you said, transphobic, dropping slurs and shit like that. So you can't be mad at her for using a slur and then turn around and be have that be just as ignorant as she was. It's don't work both ways.
Yeah, and to me, it's clear that they have a weird interpretation or a traditional interpretation of what a woman is, and it's almost because Delicious is trans, it's almost like they expect for her to conform to be I guess what a traditional woman would be in society's eyes. Mm-hmm. Because I remember Zion saying well, if you're a woman, be a lady, and I'm like, well, being a woman and being a lady in quotation marks are not synonymous. You don't have to you could be a woman and be masculine. There are studs. Obviously, there are there are cis women that fight and argue and are with the shit. So it's that's not really a criteria for being a woman.
I don't want to cut you off, bro. I just want to say shout out to old girl from Staples. To all the women who are masculine. Shout out to old girl from Staples.
For those who don't know, I saw a girl that I used to go to school with, and she stood up like she was about to beat my ass. Her was on guard, and I'm like, calm down. She's just a little, she plays softball. She good. But
Oh my god, yeah, she stood up like she was about to just,
Yeah,
like, blow your damn chest out, like, we was like,
right. I was
"Oh."
like, but I knew she was because we were cool in high school. So like, I'm like, I knew she would have no like issue with me, but
Right,
it was
okay.
just funny seeing y'all reaction. But
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 don't be ignorant.
yeah,
Stop being ignorant, Mr. Miami.
right.
You a father out here in these Atlanta
Yes,
streets. A whole father.
yes. I was right. I was not here. Yeah, you gotta set an example for your child.
Mhm.
See, that's how bigotry. That's how bigotry goes down the line. It's low key hereditary. He probably raised Charlie too. That's why the comment. That's why he made them comments.
Do you think he is, I guess since Charlie and Argyle are so close, do you think Jabari has any type of, like, influence on Charlie's life? Or what role do you think,
Uh,
Jabari plays to Charlie? Like, gay cousin, gay
I think
aunt?
he. I think it's a gay aunt situation.
Okay.
I definitely think it's a gay aunt situation. You know, he used to go over there when his gay mother or gay father was at work. He would spend his time at his house. I'm dead. We created this whole gay family.
Well, you know we good for that. Let's not tell the people what we did to the gentleman from I Love New York.
Ugh, let's not even go there. We don't have the time.
Redacted!
But but yeah, but in all seriousness, I was not here for the transphobic comments. Like I just felt like it wasn't like, oh my god, like because you know there are levels to bigotry, but to me it was more so like, oh, like they just had like a warped sense of like what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. And so I'm like, you can't justify like I mean you can say like of course like she hit you first and like you know if she hit you first like man woman cisgender trans like you gon' react like you're not
Right.
just gonna let somebody hit you. But at the same time I feel like his defense instead of that it was, oh well she's not a woman. And
Mhm.
it's like, well no that shouldn't be your argument because she is a woman, you know, like and like she doesn't need to act a certain way to be a woman. All she has to do is identify as a woman and that's it, you know. So it's almost like they're like, oh well for you to be taken seriously as a woman you have to be a lady, you have to do this, you have to do that, and it's like no you don't.
Also crazy that it's coming from, like, the older cast members, like, the people who definitely who should be like, defending her against, like, comments like that, and they're, like, the ones that's making them.
Yeah, but I think the older people come from maybe like a different era where that might have been okay and that might have been the common thought. But now as we, you know, as things, you know, as we progress, that's no longer something that is appropriate, I guess. But because they grew up in a different era, not to say that they should know better, they should know better, but like the older they are, I can see how like they might have these like stunted or outdated views of you know transness and gender.
That's crazy,
So
especially coming from, like, gay men. Like, how would you look down on, like, a transgender person? Like, it's just weird. It's, like,
yeah,
the whole, like, hypocrisy, like.
it's a lot of it. It's a lot of hypocrisy. But my the moment that stood out to me during the episode, there was a lot of moments to I guess pick from, but I think the moment that stood out to me was Ike talking about his past relationship and basically I guess deciding to record a song about it and him being in the studio and singing. I want to first address his style, like his I guess his music style.
Mhm.
I think it's really interesting. Clearly he has like some like gospel influences. I'm assuming he grew up in the church. He also had a little country influence in there. I noticed it kind of had like a little country, um, you know, like yeah, it had like a little country influence to it. But I just thought it was interesting because I was kind of expecting him to be I was kind of expecting him to be on brand with the popular R&B of today. Like kind of like the Bryson Tiller, the Tory Lanez, Party Next Door, like that kind of like
Mhm.
trap hop,
Mhm.
like kind of like with the hip hop beat, but it was more of a like gospel, country, sound. So I thought that that was interesting.
Oh, he did say I guess he like wrote the song for his ex, so he was pouring his feelings out into the song. I was like, okay, Mr. Ike. He said all the nights I cried into my pillow and cried to my friends. I was like, goodness.
Yeah, and I feel bad for him just because, I think a lot of people know what it's like to have heartbreak or be rejected and you feel like, oh, I'm gonna feel this way forever and I'll never love somebody again. And I'm not in his shoes, so I don't know, but I just feel like, like it'll be okay. Like I was looking at it, I was watching it like, damn, like you'll be okay. Like you're young, like you'll find somebody else. If you can create that with that person, you can create it again with
Right.
somebody else. Like so, I mean, I don't want to like patronize him or like try to downplay his feelings. But yeah, I'm just like I feel like you'll love again. You just kind of have to take that time to
Yeah. Heartbreak doesn't last
heal
forever.
to right. But you have to kind of feel your emotions and like work through that. Cause when he said, what did he say? He said, I feel like even years from now, when I'm married with kids, I'll still be hurt. And I'm like, ooh, I like you might need to talk to somebody if that's if that's how you really feeling. Cause I mean, everybody remembers people that they love, even when I'm sure in the future you'll think about somebody that you used to date or somebody that you used to love, but I think maybe looking back on it might be like, oh, I remember when that happened. I remember when I was in that space. And I still kind of have love for that person, but I don't feel like you should feel hurt. Like, oh my God, like, like it just happened. Like, I feel like that's kind of like, oh my God. So, do you believe in soulmates?
Uh no,
The
I do not.
concept of soulmates? Okay. Okay. I also do not believe in soulmates. He mentioned that the guy was his soulmate, which, hey, is in his mind, that is his soulmate, or, that was his soulmate. But I don't believe in soulmates. I feel like there are multiple people in the world. There are tons and tons of people in the world that you could live a long, happy life with, that you could love like equally, I think. Because to me, it just seems kind of impractical that like one person you meet is like your soulmate, like your other half. I
Right.
just don't. I feel like you could have that with multiple people, but maybe it just seems that way because like love and your emotions make you feel that way. Maybe like it makes you feel like there's no one else
I
when
wonder
in
if
reality,
this relationship was kind of, I don't know if he explained it earlier, but I wonder if it's kind of deeper because I wonder if this was the first relationship where he was maybe like public with it, or he might have came out like during this relationship. So maybe that's why he's like so emotionally like attached.
yeah. I mean, I think he's still Well, I think he's still I don't think his family knows, like his like mom, dad, like aunts and stuff like that. But maybe that might have been the relationship that maybe made him want to come out,
Goodness,
at least to
if
his
they didn't know
friends.
that. And shit, if you don't know, now that you know. Goodness.
He on the show. He on the show. Like he's on the show. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes me wonder, did he is I wonder, like, did they break up because he was maybe hesitant about coming out to his family? But probably not.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Kind
don't want
of
to
like
sit here and
a Erica
make assumptions,
and
but
Stephanie situation from
yes,
90 Day Fiance.
maybe, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but it just seemed like he was really going through a hard time. And
Mhm.
thankfully, he has music to kind of, express himself. And I
Right.
know music can be therapeutic to those feelings. So, yeah, sing it out. Hopefully that song takes off and that's a positive thing that comes from it.
True. I like Ike. I'm here for all I hear from Mr. Ike finding love. All I hear for the
Yeah, definitely.
hopefully he um the heartbreak heals or however he feeling, hopefully he gets over that, and I'm all here for him finding love. Maybe he should
Yeah.
audition for the Shit We Do for Love produced by Kevon Burns Online. I would be
I
here
don't
for
think
that.
he's ready for that. I think he needs to take his time and heal and really, find himself again, and then he can inquire about that. But I think he definitely needs to heal first and feel through his feelings, because I think a really common thing when people deal with trauma and heartbreak and things like that is that they don't take the time to feel their emotions. They just kind of bypass it. Like they just feel like, oh well, I'm over it, whatever. And or they try to use different vices, like, not just vices, but like anything from like drinking to like sex, even like work, to kind of mask their true feelings. But when it's all said and done, those feelings are still there. So you really need to take time to just kind of feel those feelings and kind of understand, what that means to you and, your future. And then I think he'll be able to kind of, you know, then he'll be able to kind of feel, you know, he'll be able to date again and,
Right.
live his life. So,
Let's just hope like the next
yeah.
person he doesn't, or the next person he, I guess, falls in love with or starts dating, they don't potentially end up his good girlfriend.
I mean, you never know. I mean, that happens even without heartbreak, So, well, that's been our standout moments from this week's episode. We will be back with the second segment of our show, so stay tuned. And you are watching Key and Carrie Ruby. Key,
And we carry.
who was your favorite this episode?
My favorite of the episode was none other than Mr. Jabari, Zion, Miami. Just finding out that
Man of many names.
yes, a man of many names and a man of many talents. Um, just finding out that he is our guy's gay father was just, it's almost like when Cindy put out that crack pipe from Tangerine. Just blew my mind. Like I
Oh my
really could not see. Well, I'm not comparing like either of them to a crackhead. I'm just saying like my reaction to her, my reaction to that scene is how I felt finding out that Jabari is our guy's gay father. I just didn't see them having like that
damn.
type of relationship. Cause I don't, since
You
this
were really
season I've
gagged
never
by
really
that
seen
then.
them interact. Like I've seen Charlie and our guy interact more than Jabari and our guy. So just finding that out was just mind blowing.
I actually did. I actually didn't even know that they knew each other.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even know they associated with each other. Especially since Arga gives me like kind of like bougie, like
Mm-hmm.
like I don't really mess with the ratchets, and I feel like Zion kind of gives me like kind of hood, like I don't know. They just kind of give me like they're from two different sides of the track.
Yeah.
So but the more you know, I guess. You never know what's going down in Atlanta.
He's also my fave because he was skinny dipping at a party for our guy.
Ooh,
Like,
you skinny dipping at a party?
I'm not skinny dipping at a party. Not me. Not I. But
Not me, girl.
the fact that he had the confidence to skinny dip in front of a group of people and try to shoot his shot at Roman while naked and drenching wet. It's like,
That's kind of a move.
that is a move.
That's
Like, don't
confident.
bring your wet ass this
That's
way, but
energy.
that's a move.
Oh my god.
Mm,
Yes.
mm,
Right.
mm.
Everybody was on Roman this episode.
Yes.
Well, not everybody, but a couple people was on Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay.
Yep. Somebody in the
I'll have to
comments said,
be in these streets.
somebody in the comments said Roman don't see it for the boys, but he's being nice. He's playing nice.
Okay, I'm here for that. A polite curve.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Like I'm.
You know what was more which curve was more polite? Roman telling Zion to get his wet ass back in the pool, or Akeem trying to hug Roman and Roman telling him, "Don't get your makeup on my shirt because you're sweating."
I would have said, "Don't get your makeup on my shirt because I'm sweating," because that was a key. I laughed so fucking hard. Don't get your makeup on my shirt because can I be a good game? You're sweating. I know, like our four listeners listen to this show. Like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like,
Yeah, if they watch the
oh
episode,
my
they'll figure out what we're talking about. But yeah,
god. Okay, but yeah, I was just like,
Sir
just
Akeem
the
Giovanni
quick.
was sweating bullets. Like,
He really was, and just the quick like the transition of energy from them arguing to him flirting with him was very. It was very quick and it was awkward because they were just arguing and like
right.
almost seeming like they were about to get into a fight. And then he's like, "Oh, but I'm about to lay my head on your shirt and try to caress your stomach and all of this." I'm like, y'all. I'm like, damn, like you didn't even take a breath. You didn't let a minute go by before you. That makes me think that they were flirting with each other the whole time, or at least Akeem was trying to flirt with Rashad the whole time.
That nigga be talking in circles. That's another comment I noticed, like while watching the show, is that somebody said you'll never get the full story with Akeem. He's gonna talk in circles
Oh no.
for a whole
Oh
fucking
no.
hour before he makes his point. It's like, oh, that shit is so true. This shit is
That's
so
kind of
accurate.
like the mind of a drunk person. That's the mind of a drunk person. You ever talk to a drunk, like a person that's like drunk as fuck? Like you won't get a straight answer out of
Yes.
it. Like it's like they're gonna talk in circles, and it's like, wait, what? Like, where's the point? Like, what is the point? But my favorite of this episode was, I'll give it to Ike. I would
Okay.
definitely say Ike was my favorite. I feel bad for him. I feel like it takes a lot to show that vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to, open up because I feel like this show is so much of a lot of this show is putting on and like putting, I guess, showing your best self and showing your potential that like you don't really get a lot of vulnerable moments.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was cool that you got to really see he really opened up and really showed you like this is what I'm dealing with, this is what this is how I'm trying to, fix it and all of that. So I do appreciate that and I appreciate the production for being able to show that. And
Yeah.
some of the other moments
Noticed
throughout the
that
season.
this episode and last episode we got to hear like a lot of people's like backstories and like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like finding out about like how they grew up or like their past relationships and stuff like that. So we know last episode we saw Sherrod talking about like growing up with like a birth defect and then Akeem losing his father, and then this episode we had Ike
Yeah.
opening up about like a past relationship. And I remember earlier this season saying that a lot of people on these shows are scared to like be vulnerable, but you have to be
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable to be like likable. It makes you more human. So people be like, oh shit, I
It
can relate to this
does.
person. Like I had a similar experience. So I do like
Right.
that. Past two episodes, like the cast are, opening up, talking about like the experiences that they've like had in life, good or bad. Cause you never know, like anybody who's watching could be like, damn, I went through this, or I have this, or so I think it's always cool for people to be like somewhat vulnerable, just to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was, yeah, okay, Mr. Ike, yeah, Ike was cool. Ike is
Yeah.
always
I was here
cool.
for it.
Ike is like
He
the
is.
least.
I
Him and
feel like
Redrick are like the least problematic people on the
yes.
show.
Yeah, they really just be about their business. I mean, they're there to comment and spectate, but other than that, like, yeah, they really just be about their shit. So yeah, I was here for it. I feel like like I like the song. Um, yeah, I like the song. And it, I feel like him telling the story of how the song came about makes people want to listen to it that much more. Like it
Hmm.
even adds another incentive of making people want to listen to it. But yeah, did you have who was your least favorite for this episode?
Lando, hands down, Lando, and Actually,
Yes.
Lando was
Yes.
so unlikable this episode that I will never refer to him as Lando Griffin again.
Lando Calrissian
Wait, who was that?
though. From Star Wars. Billy D. Williams' character in Star Wars.
Oh, I never watched Star Wars.
Oh yeah, he plays a character called Lando Calrissian. But
Ooh, okay.
but yeah, that's when I like whenever someone says Lando, that's what I think of. But 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 yeah, he was definitely my least fave.
Mhm.
Do you want to go in depth as to why he was your least fave?
Just
I'll piggyback off of what you said.
why the fuck are you writing so hard for Delicious? And first of all, she attacked Akeem. Not only did she attack Akeem, prior to her like that fight, like why aren't you feeling any type of way about what she said about Charlie and Argyle? Not the whole like we had sex. The shit she said after what she said to Redrick. If you feel any type of way about anybody being disrespectful, you should keep that same fucking energy for Delicious. Like, sure, I keep saying I don't agree with what Charlie said, and then I don't agree with the king putting his hands on her. But once you say some shit like that, that's just it's foul. So I don't get why he's riding so hard for her. And he's like, "Oh, you were being disrespectful," and I was like, "Well, she was being disrespectful too." Like, you it's that double standard again. Also, not only that, he smashed Cake in the king's face. First of all, if you wanted to smash Cake in his face, instead of you walking up to him and being like, "I want to have this conversation with you privately. Let's walk over here." You should just smash the cake in his face then. Like, you should just walked up to him and just put the cake in his face then. And not only that, you smashed cake in his face and then you fucking ran away. Like, you smashed the cake in this nigga face and you literally took flight. Like, the next time we saw Lando, this nigga was like walking up the stairs to go.
Lando was also my least fave. I feel like I'm kind of tired of people trying to fight other people's battles.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that happens a lot on this show where like people want to interject into other people's beef. Like there'll be beef between two people that has nothing to do with the person trying to jump in, and then they'll try to jump in and be like, "Well, what happened?" and trying to be almost kind of trying to be the peacemaker. But in my mind, I think it's just that they want camera time. They want to be in the mess because they know like if they're in the mess, then like they'll be on camera. So I'm just kind of tired of people doing that. Like everybody's grown on this show. Like everybody can fight their own battles. Like everybody can stand up and what they got to say and argue their point. So
You know what's
I'm just
funny?
like I don't understand
I'm sorry to cut you off, but since you brought up that point, people only want camera time. I think it's funny that he attacked Akeem for like fighting Delicious, but he didn't approach Charlie for what Charlie said to Delicious. Now, I'm not saying I always say I don't agree with what Charlie said, but if you're gonna be mad at Akeem, you should have had that same energy for Charlie. Like Charlie,
I think it was more. I think it was more so the fact that he put his hands on Delicious. Like I think that was because I will give Lando this. He was trying to hear both sides. Who is he to try to hear both sides? I don't know. He's not. This has nothing to do with you. So why do you even need to sit down with two people? I kind of understand where he's coming from because he did try to hear out Akeem, and Akeem was saying some offensive things. Like I said, I would have just said she put her hands on me first, and I don't care if you're a man, woman, cisgender, trans, non-binary. You put your hands on me, I'm going to react. Like so. I feel like to me that should have been his argument, but it was the transphobia. But off like from the very beginning, I feel like this is not the time to bring this up. I get it, like you trying to check him as soon as you see him, but this is not the time to like bring that up. You're at an event that isn't yours. It's a birthday party, and now you about to fuck up everybody else's energy and
right,
cause a scene because you want to bring up some shit. No, wait till y'all are outside of the party. Wait till
right,
meet up with him after the fact. Meet up with him later and then discuss it. Don't discuss this at somebody else's event.
right. I was happy that our guy was like, we're not talking about that in here. If y'all want to talk about Delicious, then y'all need to go
Yeah,
outside. But I don't want that energy in my party. So I was glad that he put a stop
yeah,
to it. But
yeah. I didn't like that.
another thing that kind of rubbed me wrong about Lando, or rubbed me the wrong way about him, was when he met up with Delicious and he was like, you got to a fight with the man and nobody reached out to you, like nobody called to check on you. I'm like, the bitch is racist. Like, why the fuck would anybody in the circle call to check on her after like the comments that she made? Like, and then I guess Lando told Tramel like she said some stuff that she didn't mean. So now he's trying to get like Akeem's like side of the story. And I was like, well, she didn't mean it. She wouldn't have said that shit more than once. Like, and then she keeps
Yeah.
referring to them as peasants, and it's like, how? What? Like, girl, you the only one that's around her acting like a goddamn nut job. Like,
Well, to me, it's more so like I just feel like even outside of the racist stuff, you booked up at this man. You put your hands on this man first. So what did you expect to happen? Did you want him to just
true,
get hit? Be like, oh yeah,
true,
she's a woman, so I can't hit her back. Like no, like you put your hands on somebody. That's like you learn that shit in like what the first grade, kindergarten. Like you put your hands on somebody, they gonna put their hands back.
right,
Like literally, like one of the first lessons they teach you. Somebody puts their hands on you, you hit them back. Now I'm not saying men should hit women, obviously not, but you can't, as a woman, hit somebody and expect for them to not respond. Like you need to be ready for what comes. So to me, it's like that's the. And then on top of that, you're talking about how she's a woman, but she trying to fight our guy, who's
right.
a man. So
Trying
I'm
to
like,
fucking fight our guy. Like, kept approaching our guy to
yeah,
try to fight him. So I
there's a
don't.
lack of accountability on
Mhm.
Delicious's part, and nobody's holding her accountable for her actions. You want to hold Akeem accountable for his actions, but you don't want to hold Delicious accountable for her actions. And it's like it's almost like, oh, like Delicious didn't do anything wrong. Like it's on you. Why would you hit her? She's a woman. She is a woman, but she needs to back down. She shouldn't have been up in Akeem's face like that. And I understand where Akeem was coming from. Like, if you're waving around a shoe, like a shoe can be a weapon. Like they were low key, like I guess laughing, like, oh, like a shoe is a weapon. Like, yeah, have you ever been hit in the head with a stiletto? That shit can that can definitely make you bleed.
Hell
It
yeah!
can
Remember on
definitely
Bad Girls Club, if
injure
a
your
bitch picked up a
skin.
shoe, they got sent the hell home. Shit, if you threw
Shit, not
anything in the
even
Bad
Bad
Girls
Girls
Club, you
Club.
was getting sent the hell home.
I'm taking it all the way back to College Hill. We know how Crystal got down.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know the carnage that came out of that. So to me it's like y'all are giving all these excuses for Delicious, but y'all not giving excuses for Akeem. And I'm not saying that he should get excuses. I'm saying nobody should have excuses. They're both wrong. Um, just like the situation with her and Charlie. But I'll tell you one thing, she the common denominator.
Right. Very true. It's also weird that it seems like Lando's like, I guess Lando was almost expecting Akeem to be like, I guess the bigger person in the situation, because Akeem was like, she hit me first, and Lando was like, okay, well, why was you swing back? And I was like, well, what the fuck were you expecting? Like, I'm
Yeah,
just not gonna let somebody just punch
what
me in the
would you
fucking face. I'm just
react?
not gonna let somebody
Yeah.
hit on me. Like,
Right. Like, no, yeah, I don't I don't see an issue with Akeem defending himself at all. Like I feel like you put your hand like again, if a girl was to hit me, like I'm gonna try my hardest not to hit her back. But I'm not every man isn't like me. Like, like every man some dudes might just punch you back and keep it moving. Like, like and I feel like teaching instead of teaching men not to hit women in response, we should teach women not to hit men. Like you can have a conversation with him without hitting him. You can have an argument with him without hitting him. Like, yeah, I just think the lack of accountability is weird. And then, like you said, on top of that, her blatantly showing her anti-blackness makes Lando look stupid. Like she really don't even really fuck with people like you. So like you going so hard for her,
right.
but
She's constantly
yeah,
disrespecting people that looks like you, and you ride so hard for her. Like, I don't
yeah,
understand why.
I
And he also needs to keep that same energy for Sherrod. Like, Sherrod was right there, and he didn't defend her. So you're gonna be mad at Akeem
yeah.
for like defending himself. You should be mad at Akeem, not Akeem, but you should be mad at Sherrod for not defending Delicious.
Definitely. Yeah, I was just kind of over it. I think I was more upset at the fact that he decided to bring this up at our guy's party. Like, and then like our guy shut it down. Like he even said like, "Yo, like we not talking about that right now. I don't fuck with her. This is my party. I'm in a positive mood. Like this is for this is good vibes. Like leave that shit alone. Talk about that shit outside of my party." And he brought it up again, and I'm just like, yo, like time and place. Like what else kind of rubbed me the wrong way? When Tramel in his confessional, he was talking about how like, oh, I guess Akeem deserved the cake in his face, and they did like basically like I guess basically supporting Lando. And I'm like, oh, so it was a problem when they were fighting at your event, but now that it's not your event,
Right.
cool. Like now it's okay for them to do all this shit at somebody else's shit, but when it was your shit, you were mad. You didn't want to talk to nobody, and you was lashing out at people that didn't even have anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite look
Yes.
this episode?
Ike's confessional, the white shirt,
Okay.
the bare chest, and the gold jewelry. He was giving me an oversexed R&B singer from the 70s. I
Not
was here for it.
oversexed.
All I needed was just like a little bit of hair in the like center of his chest, and it just would have been
Yes.
perfect. But yes, he was giving me
just
like,
a little bit of hair, little bit of taco
Mhm.
meat. It would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was here for the look. It was giving me Copacabana teens.
I can see that.
Yeah, it was giving me like Miami, like I'm on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and I just found the love of my life on vacation. It's giving me Stella got my groove back, or Stella got my groove back. Stella got her groove back, which is kind of funny because he's heartbroken now. So like maybe he went and got his groove back.
I can see that. I'm here for that.
Yeah,
I'm here for that.
So my look, I think okay. So my look was Devon's glitter shine and shimmer look. I really liked his shirt was cute, but I feel like his overall look in that confessional was very like his skin looked really nice. He had his hair cut, like Devon is of course Devon is fine. Devon is attractive. He's really cute. So just to see his like he was giving you face, and then the shirt was complimenting his skin. He just looked like a snack in the confessional. So I was okay, Devon,
I liked it. For some reason, it reminded me of like the late 90s, like something you would see in the club in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like the jewelry, the shirt, it was definitely like, I liked it. It was an era. Not an era, but I feel like it was from
it was
like
a moment.
an era. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
But did you have what was it? Oh, look at me forgetting the segments to my own show. God damn it. So what was your messy moment?
Well, before I give my messy moment, I just want to say it's technically my fault because I kind of did fuck up your whole fucking shit before we started recording.
You did fuck up my whole fucking shit with that.
Yes,
fucked up my whole fucking shit. Jesus.
Yes, okay. My shady moment was when Brandon Chaos told Charlie that he had invited Dre Simmer to his house to discuss like possibly starting like a clothing line. And Charlie was like,
"Oh, you know that's drugs." Yo.
It's like, Charlie, you know they're drugs. I was like, you didn't have to say that.
I just think it's crazy that like it's such a common like thing that he does drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saying it's alleged. We're not saying that he does drugs.
Yes,
we're
allegedly.
saying that they say that he does drugs. Yeah. I'm not calling him cocaine. I don't know what that man does on his own time. But yeah, it's kind of crazy that everybody, because he's not the first person to say that. He said it. I think Forrest said it. When he didn't say it outright, but he said it when he kind of alluded to it when remember when he was arguing with he was arguing with somebody. He was arguing with Dre Simber, and he was
Oh,
talking
was
to
it at the nonviolent event?
yes, and he was talking to Devon, and he was like, yeah, like people got me out here, like you got me out here. You got people out here thinking that I do drugs with you, that I'm a cokehead with you, like that I'm druggy boo too. So you know, like
Never druggy boo.
because we
Never
not
that.
druggy boo over here. We never druggy boo. We might be nutty boo. We might be drunky boo. We never drunky boo. Never.
It is funny that every time like Jay Simmer's name is brought
It's
up,
just so casual.
yeah, it's
It's so
instantly
casual. It's
like
almost
cocaine is
like
instantly like brought up with it.
yes. It's almost like he like yeah. It's like Dre Simber's a cokehead, right? Like it's just so like they like everybody knows it. Nobody it's like nobody's alarmed by it. Everybody's just like yep, yeah, that's the thing. He's a cokehead. Like damn.
First he was coked up, then we were choked up, but now we're happy Dre is back.
Cha cha cha. No.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yes, allegedly.
We gonna go with Charlie XL on this and say that the streets is talking.
My favorite messy moment of the episode was I'm gonna change minds and say that it was definitely because we definitely left this part out of the main part of our show. Was my messy moment was fucking Shirai admitting that he slept with, or I guess he confessed to sleeping with Devon's boyfriend Dewan.
I'm like,
Like
really, Sherrod? Is that
here
gonna
I
be your
am
storyline this
thinking,
season? Oh my god.
here I am thinking that black love is genuine, and here we go. Like here go the cheatation accusations.
Right.
Like
And not only like a cheating accusation, but it's with somebody that you're filming with.
yes, and I just want to also note that he paid him. Shirai was talking to Delicious. He said that okay. So first he said he hit him up in the DMs, and so I guess Shirai was like, "Don't you have a boyfriend? Like, why are you hitting me up?" And so which okay, so he said that he asked, "Don't you have a boyfriend?" But then he also later said that he didn't know that Devon was Dewan's boyfriend. And I'm like, well, how you know he got a boyfriend, but you don't know who his boyfriend is?
Right.
That's a little questionable. So
Mm-hmm.
he was basically like, he hit me up in the DMs. He kept hitting me up. I was turning him down, but eventually I caved in. And I'm like, now Shirai. Now I
Now
feel like
you
we go hard on Shirai. Now yeah. Now, I feel like we go in on Sherrod because we see the potential of Sherrod, but we get frustrated because he keeps making dumb decisions. So I'm just like, boy, like you caved in. You couldn't have stuck to your morals. Like, girl, come on now. But he said he caved in, and yeah, he paid him. He paid him money. Pay him. And he paid him a couple times because they had multiple sessions apparently. And yeah,
oh my gosh.
so I'm just like, I can't wait to see this unfold because Devon don't seem like he play about his man. And somebody even said like, because to me it stood out to me when remember when they first introduced Dewan, and I guess Dewan didn't want Devon to be hanging around Akeem because I guess Akeem was flirting with Devon like a while ago or whatever.
To him
To
sexually.
me, yes, he came onto him sexually, which is redundant, which is pretty redundant, but we gonna move past that. But yeah, like he was like very like he came off a little controlling, and somebody was like, well, I wonder what he doing behind closed doors, because people who tend to be controlling of their partners in relationships tend to also be doing stuff on the side, or they tend to
Mm-hmm.
be doing stuff on the side, and that's why they want to be so controlling of their partner because they don't want them to be doing the same shit that they doing out in the streets. So I was like, makes more sense now. Makes a lot of sense. Not gonna
That
lie.
is that's low. That's low.
Yeah, that's low. Very low.
And
So
you know
I
what's
was like,
weird? I say this almost every other episode. I keep thinking that Sherrod is like 23, 24, and I keep
He
forgetting
does
that
give you early 20s.
he's early 30s. Like the decision
Mm-hmm.
he makes is just so they're juvenile. It's like it's
I
definitely
will
like you
say
know
that.
better.
I
You
I
definitely fucking know
do
better.
kind yeah, I do kind of wonder like what his back like I don't know. I kind of would be interested to hear more about his life just because he does seem very like not childish, but he does seem like he's like in his early 20s, late teens. Like just the
Mhm.
way he acts and like the things that he does, he carries himself like he's a lot younger than he actually is. And I think we've talked about this before on the show, but I'm just curious as to like I wonder what led to that. Cause yeah, he does even with him wanting to be liked, but also wanting to like be shady. I just feel like that's something that happens in high school or like in your early 20s where like you want to be liked, but you also want to be, you want to shade with the rest of them. And it's
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I'm just curious as to where that comes from. But yeah, I
Remember on
was just
Bad Girls
like,
Club when BGC 12 when Red said that she really didn't have a childhood because she had to take care of her mom. So remember
mhm,
she got in the house and she was acting like a big ass kid.
yeah,
I wonder if
yeah.
like that's a good question. Like I wonder what Sherrod's like upbringing was like, his childhood was like. I mean, he seems like he's a bird, but he's not like Amber from BG's Bad Girls Club season 3 bird. Like
He's not a hamster. He
yeah,
has the brain of a
like
gerbil.
yeah.
Yes.
He. I guess the word is he has like rationality, or he can make like rational thoughts. He just chooses
Hmm.
not to. Like
He just kind of seems lost.
yeah,
He seems lost. That's what I think. That's where it's coming. He seems kind of lost in his way. Lost, lost in his walk with the Lord.
I
But
mean, sorry, but a few people are lost on that walk. Well, a
lost
few
with their walk in the Lord.
are lost on this walk. Goodness.
Yes. But I mean, and this ain't the first time that Dewan has been accused of cheating
Mm.
or entertaining other people. So he was accused of it on another show. So, I'm sure some people, know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so this ain't the first time. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But hopefully, they can rectify that, get it together. But yeah, that was my messy moment. I was just like, damn, like and then I'm like, it's messy as fuck when even Delicious is like, damn, you did that?
Yeah.
Damn, that's what like
Mhm.
it's gotta be some shit that Delicious is saying that. So
And what's weird? Devon was like riding for Sherrod at the PF Chang's. Remember when
he
December
was.
kept coming for like
Mhm.
Sherrod? Devon jumped in and was like, "You H&M wearing motherfucker!" Like he was going
You
in.
defended
He was
this.
riding for Sherrod.
You
Yeah.
defended this bitch, and you
Mm.
defended this bitch, and not and she fucked your man. How that? That's a carry.
What's
That's a
crazy?
carry
As
right
soon as you said that, it made me think of that Kaya song. Don't trust no nigga. You put your trust in a nigga, stupid hoe. How you figure he won't fuck your best friend and your sister? My
there.
goodness.
Jesus.
Mm,
Kaya is
mm,
very
mm.
on brand with this show. Honestly, I feel like Kaya should be the host. If she wasn't
Oh.
so homophobic and transphobic, she could definitely be the host of the reunion. She could definitely be the host.
Oh my god.
Like that would be way messy though. Ooh,
That would be messy
that
as fuck. Like that
yeah,
wouldn't even be like a reunion. It would just be like a fight club at that point.
that would be satanic. Like that's that's the real demon time right there.
True. Very true. That would be
Like,
one kill count I would want James and Janice to review.
oh my god, I
Mm,
can't.
mm, mm.
But yeah, that was my messy moment. Did you? Oh, and what's left? Our reality rewind.
Oh yeah. Yes, my reality rewind for the episode. So since Lando smashed cake in the king's face, I was thinking about all of the altercations where people either got food smashed on their face or they got like objects thrown at their head. So
Okay.
I decided to go Bad Girls Club. I was first gonna go with Bad Girls Club season 8, where one of the
Hmm.
Victor twins threw that marker at Elise's head, and that bitch just
Oh
like
my
ricocheted
god.
off. But then I
Watching
decided
it
to,
like I could watch that fight today and like it still pisses me off. Like the fact that she threw that marker so hard that it bounced off her head. I was like, oh my god, you should. You listen. I'm like, I don't know why you didn't just grab a chair and just take both of them out. Like
right.
I don't care if that would have sent me home. Like I
Hmm.
would have just been like, you know what? Fuck yeah, I'm about to just. That's I never understood. Not to derail your reality rewind, but I never understood on Bad Girls Club like why the fuck don't they just go get like a pan or something and just knock a bitch out? Like that would probably get them. That would probably give them jail time and
Yeah,
kick
that's
off the
definitely
show. But
assault.
I just feel like at that point, you listen. It might be worth it. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me conduct myself.
Shit, remember Hanan picked up that chair, took Amber the fuck out and got sent home.
She did. Yeah. See that
Mm-mm-mm.
could have been me. Like, like no. And it's two of y'all. Oh no, I'm about to take both of y'all out.
And neither one of them could fight. Mm-mm-mm.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, okay. Yeah, that was very disrespectful.
Threw that down, marker her head at her head. But yeah, my reality rewind is still in the Bad Girls Club realm, but I want to go
Hmm.
BGC 6, the reunion fight, Jay versus Corey. Remember at the end when they brought out the cake? I think Corey smashed cake in Jay's face. So they fell on the couch and then it wasn't really a fight, but Jay was pulling Corey's hair. But the way Corey was laying, she looked like a mannequin. Like she was just
She did
motionless.
look
I'm like,
dead.
damn, is this bitch knocked out? But yeah, fucking Jay, not Jay, Corey smashed cake in Jay's face, and then it led to them like getting into it and Jay being escorted off
Yeah.
stage. But
They were play fighting and then it was a real
true,
fight.
very true. Oh, that's crazy. I remember my neighbors had a fight like that.
Mm. How
Yes.
quickly they turn.
That shit was so annoying. Like they grown ass women wrestling, like play wrestling, and it turned into a real fight. Like they had to have been drunk. But
What did Coral say? I don't wrestle, I beat bitches up.
yeah. Shout out to my girl, Coral. I don't wrestle. I fucking beat bitches up. Mm.
Also, can I add one?
Yes.
Since both sides won't let it go, um, taking it back to the early 2000s. I'm gonna say early 2000s and girl group, and I feel like you're gonna get it.
Don't do it. You trying to
I thought that was the
don't do it.
I
Don't
thought that
do
was
it.
the first one you were gonna say. I thought that was the first thing that was gonna come to your like the first thing that was gonna be you were gonna
No,
mention.
when we get past 100,000 followers, we can make that joke. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'm not saying it's a joke. I'm just saying that that's something that had happened. That's something that's on record that happened.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe it's not on record, but it was definitely talked about. How dare they? That's pretty fucked up.
Terrible. Well, I guess
Like,
yeah, we could talk about it because she's winning. So, like,
yes.
she's winning.
I mean, shit, neither side, like, they always talking about it. So, I
True.
mean, shit, why can't we? Like, for those of you who don't know or haven't figured it out yet, I'm talking about Notori Naughton's tragic departure. Notori Naughton's ooh, I tell you, when I get tired, I get tired. Notori Naughton's terrible departure from the group 3LW. she accused one of the other girls. I don't know if it was one of the other girls or if it was the mom or somebody. She accused somebody of smashing a plate of KFC in her face. Um, and I just feel like that is just that's just unforgivable.
It is.
She was already mistreated for being the dark skinned girl in the group.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's pretty fucked. If that actually happened, then that's pretty fucked up. And maybe this is their karma. I mean, Keely's irrelevant.
She, in her
AP's
defense,
doing pretty well.
and in Keely's defense, she's busy
Don't
being
go
a
there.
mom.
Don't go there. Don't go there. I'm editing that out.
Well, it's on the record. She said it. Shit, so why can't I say it? But
maybe that's what our podcast should have been called. She said it, so why the fuck can't I say it? She said it, so why the fuck can't I address it? But anyway, yeah, I just feel like that's pretty fucked up to get something smashed in your face.
Yeah. I was like a teenager. I'm gonna say like early teen, maybe like the 6th grade. I think when Notori left the group, and they had a couple cute bops, but if you want to be honest, then Notori was like the most talented out of the group, vocally and like dancing abilities. But yeah, Notori was like, she was the most talented.
And no shade, but I feel like that still happens to this day. Like I feel like the darker skinned girls, it's almost like they have to work way harder than like their like lighter skinned counterparts, just to be in the same room. And so it's like, because I was thinking about it's kind of crazy because like Notori, and then you have like Normani, who's in the group. What was she in? What group was that called?
Fifth Harmony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in that group, and I know she got mistreated for being the only black girl, and she also had to leave, and she's also like super talented. Like I'm assuming some of the other girls are talented as well, but she just worked so hard at dancing and singing, and I just feel like she always stood out in that group, and I just feel like it's because she had to work so much harder to be even in the same room as them. So I would be curious to see them, like maybe a couple other dark skinned women in music, kind of have a conversation about that, just because I do feel like that's a trope, in the music industry. So
that would be an interesting sit down. That would be a good ass.
Because I feel like she also faced some racism, especially from Camila Cabello. Camila Cabello is basically the like famous version of Delicious. I feel like
I've heard about her.
They have a lot of parallels. Maybe Camila, or no, Delicious is Camila's tethered, I think.
No, Delicious is definitely Camila's tethered.
But I would be curious to hear a conversation about them, because she also faced like a lot of Camila Cabello's, like I guess she was saying some racist stuff about Normani, and then like her fans attacked Normani and like had all this racist stuff, and it was just like, it was trash. So, but yeah, I digress. That has been the end of this episode, our review of this episode of G Status. What is this? The part 2 of episode 6?
Yes.
You can have your cake and eat it too, or you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yes, have my cake and eat it too.
Okay, have my cake and eat it too. But what did you think about the little trailer before we go in just a couple minutes? Take a couple minutes to give your
mid-season
thoughts.
trailer is looking interesting, because I can't wait until the storyline between Redrick and Ike plays out, because Redrick made it seem like Ike told him that he was available, but Redrick was talking to somebody else, or I guess I don't know. I just want to see how that storyline plays out, and then I'm also interested to see how the Roman and Tramiel storyline plays out. Cause Tramiel likes to throw
Yeah.
like jabs and shots. He kind of does the same thing Sherrod does. He throws shots and
Mhm.
jabs and then doesn't stand behind it.
You're
So
right.
I'm waiting to see somebody like check him, like put him in
Yeah.
his place, because he's so annoying.
Check him. Make him answer. I don't know what she was talking about, but I remember Mama D was saying that on Love and Hip Hop.
Oh
I
my
cannot
god, you know
remember
what's
what
so
it's from though.
crazy? I thought about that the other day. That's when Stevie J called Erica a bitch, and he went and told Mama D, and she was like, "Go check him."
Yes. When I tell you these random ass reality TV moments just be popping up in my head, like I'll be like,
Mhm.
what is that from? Like, but yeah, I think that's gonna be interesting, especially since they're connected because I think Ike felt some type of way that Tramel was talking to Roman, I guess. So like they're technically kind of connected, their relationships are connected, but whew, that's messy ass Atlanta for you, I guess. No shade to Atlanta, but that's the messiness of the show, I guess you would say. But I'm interested to see what happens in Miami because a lot of shit pop off. It's gonna be a couple fights, some drama. Um, the
And
cops.
Shirai got into it with somebody, and he was being held back, and he told whoever he was trying to get to run up. And I was like, "Well, nigga, your arms are down, so if they run up, they just gonna like bash your shit. So get it."
Yeah.
And this sense, this
Did you think
episode, see, I
Tracy?
was waiting for this fucking episode. Remember when I told you when he does some low shit like this, I'm gonna address him as S.88. Get it together,
Yes.
S.88.
S.88. Do you think that was the year he was born? 88?
Yeah, that's what I think. I want to say
So
yeah,
that would make him what, 31, 32?
32.
Okay. Yeah. Um, well, do you think it's December that attacked him?
I hope not. I'm so tired of seeing Dre Simber. No, he adds nothing to the show.
Yeah. Giving me Antichrist tease.
You know there's drugs. I can't wait to say that to somebody. Like, you going over there, you know there's drugs.
The drugs. Jesus. Well, that's been our review. Um, like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends.
Thank you for being patient. Also, want to give a shout out to Ja and
This.
KL. I'm not gonna call him uncle, but John KL. Just thank you
Mhm.
for having the patience to put together the show and for
Yes.
the multiple cast members. So this is Key and Carrie, where we key
And we carry.
and we're signing out.
Peace.